Welcome back, everybody, to Zlatan's Fight Picks. Today we will be going over the fight card for UFC 311, Makhachev versus Moicano, which was supposed to be Tsaruki, and it just got switched today. And I'm running really late on this 311 prediction. Supposed to do it last couple days, and now it's Friday, so it's running very late. But having said that, we did manage to catch the last minute switch to the main event. So, as usual, we will start off with the early prelims and move our way to the headline fight, the main event. So let's start. First fight of the night, Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. Tagir Ulanbekov, 5'7", 70-inch reach, 15 wins, 2 losses. 33 years old. Clayton Carpenter, 5'6", 68-inch reach, 8 wins, 0 losses, 28 years old. Tagir Ulanbekov will be a lot larger, a lot taller than Clayton Carpenter. Clayton Carpenter is very tough, very durable. He's actually got really good striking. He's pretty good on the ground as well, and he's got a lot of submissions. I think in this case, he's going to be a little too small. Tagir Ulanbekov's got a lot of experience. I think Clayton Carpenter's saying, I don't even think he's 5'6". I think the height difference is a lot greater than the 1 inch. I think it's at least 2 or 3 inches in height. I think Tagir's fought a higher level of competition and has done well against them. There is a danger that he could get ground out to a decision like he did against, what's his name? He just got out grappled and out hustled just by a little bit. Oh, why is it slipping? It's slipping. It's slipping. That name is slipping. It is Tim Elliott. And really good fight. Close fight, but Elliott ended up squeezing it by. Ulanbekov doesn't fight very often. I mean, I could see why people would go with the Carpenter. I was thinking about going with Carpenter. I think Carpenter's striking might be better than Ulanbekov's, but I think Ulanbekov's going to just be longer, going to be able to reach him quicker. And I think that Ulanbekov's going to be the guy taking him to the ground. And he controls people on the ground. And I don't think this is a fight that's happened to Carpenter, because he normally is the guy taking people to the ground and choking them out. I think in this case, Ulanbekov's going to be the guy. He should win this fight by decision. Ricky Turcios versus Bernardo Sopai. Ricky Turcios, 5'9", 71-inch reach, 13 wins, 4 losses, 31 years old. Bernardo Sopai, 5'6", 66-inch reach, 11 wins, 3 losses, 24 years old. Yeah, can you really bet on Ricky? Like, I've always taken chances to betting on him. It always seems like it comes up short. More talk, less action, kind of thing, right? So he's going to be the taller fighter in there, but from what I saw from Sopai the last time he fought another new fighter to the UFC, which is Vinicius Oliveira. But to be honest with you, we didn't really appreciate how good Vinicius Oliveira was until he fought his next fight, where he fought Ricky Simon and just kind of destroyed Ricky Simon. And Sopai was dominating that fight for the first round and a half, and then of course I think he just started to gas. Then he got caught, then he got sloppy, then eventually he got KO'd, but he was totally gassed. He took a last minute fight, but he did really well at taking down Oliveira, who has great takedown defense, as we saw against Ricky Simon. I don't think Turcios is going to be taking Sopai down. Turcios is going to have to try to submit him. I think it's going to be very difficult. I think Sopai showed that he's got pretty good ground control, really strong. Overall striking, Sopai was pretty effective last time I saw him. Turcios, he's not a bad striker, but he's not a power striker. It doesn't really hurt anybody. Pick's going to be Sopai by decision. Moving on to Arinya Nakamura versus Muin Gafarov. Arinya Nakamura, 5'7", 68.5-inch reach, 9 wins, 0 losses, 29 years old. Muin Gafarov, 5'7", 68-inch reach, 19 wins, 6 losses, 28 years old. I'm not buying into the Nakamura hype train. I'm not saying that he's bad, but I just don't think he's great as everyone likes to make him out to be. I think there's huge holes in his game. I don't think he's fought a really high level of competition. I also think that the last people that he fought, which were super low end, did way better than they should. Him going to a decision against Vera and going to a decision against Garcia and Vera putting him in really awkward spots in jiu-jitsu, where he had to kind of work his way out. And Vera's a tiny guy too. So you got, speaking now, Gafarov, who is the same size. A lot of times he's undersized, but he's the same size as Nakamura. And people forget that Gafarov, even though he's had some really good performances, but he has lost quite a few of his fights, he's a year younger than Nakamura. So it's not like this guy's been in the UFC and he's old. He's been in the UFC since he was very young. So I've seen some really big improvements from him, from Castaneda to Nurmagomedov to fighting Kang. I've seen some huge improvements. I want to fade Nakamura. Maybe it's early to fade him. I'm not sure. I think Gafarov is the kind of guy that can definitely improve from his last fight. You look at his last fight, it was 8 months ago. The guy's, he's developing just as much as Nakamura is developing. And I don't think he's a bad wrestler. I don't think he's a bad striker. I think he's getting better at jiu-jitsu. I think he's very tough. He's very durable. He's very game. He just goes for it. I don't know. There's a lot to like about Gafarov's fights. Nakamura, same deal, but he hasn't fought nearly the level of competition. He's going to be my huge underdog pick of the night. It'll be Muin Gafarov, lowest level confidence, but I am gonna. He's at plus 425, and I don't know. Everyone sees something, and Gafarov and Nakamura is at minus 650. It's such, the odds are off. There's no way Nakamura hasn't fought nearly the level, hasn't dominated even the low level guys. He hasn't dominated them. So this is going to go down to a decision. So you take it from there, and I'm going to bet on Gafarov for the upset by decision. Moving on. Carol Rosa versus Ailin Perez. Carol Rosa, 5'5", 67.5-inch reach, 18 wins, 6 losses, 30 years old. Ailin Perez, 5'5", 66-inch reach, 11 wins, 2 losses, 30 years old. They're the same size. Ailin Perez, a lot of people are betting on her. I think half the time these guys on Tapology and in this sphere bet on the hottest girl rather than the best fighter. It just seems that's what they're betting on, right? But I think that Rosa is going to be the better striker. I think Rosa, she can get taken down. Yes, I think she's getting better at stopping the takedowns. I don't think she's too bad on the ground. I think she's got a great gas tank. She has fought the way better competition and fought them competitively. I don't think Ailin Perez has fought nearly the competition. Yes, she's looked good against some of the girls, but these are real low-level girls. Rosa should be the favorite. I'm going to pick Rosa to win a decision here. Moving on. Grant Dawson versus Ferreira. Grant Dawson, 5'10", 72-inch reach, 22 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 30 years old. Diego Ferreira, 5'9", 74-inch reach, 19 wins, 5 losses, 39 years old. Diego Ferreira is 39 years old. Okay, he is definitely getting too old, but he is looking just as good as he's ever looked. I bet on him last time for the big upset. He won. Grant Dawson, 5'10", 30 years old. He got KO'd that one time. Honestly, hate watching this guy fight. Boring. Don't even want to cheer for him. Granted, he did get a little bit more of an exciting ground and pound stoppage last time against Garcia, but I think that it was opponent dependent. You're not going to see a lot of that because he's not going to take a lot of chances with guys who can get back up. And this is the case here. Diego Ferreira, if he's got his cardio on track, he's tough, he's durable, he's a powerful striker, he's got fantastic jiu-jitsu. His wrestling is good, but not sensational. His get-up game is good, but his wrestling defense is not necessarily the best. But I don't think Grant Dawson is all that. I don't think he's that good. I look at the level of competition he's fought. You know, who's the best guy he's fought? He fought Ismagulov, who was a really good striker, but obviously he showed some weaknesses on the ground and it's not great at jiu-jitsu. So, and that was a pretty competitive fight, but you know, basically Dawson held him down for 3 rounds. Um, Apart from that, Green ended up KOing him. He got caught, so he can get caught. Diego Ferreira does have power. He's got great striking if you keep it on the feet. Dawson, I've seen him get tired before. I've seen him fight a long time ago, and where Ricky Glenn was getting held on the ground and held on the ground by Dawson, and finally in the 3rd round, Dawson gassed, and Ricky Glenn basically got, you know, what was that, 2018, 10-8. He 10-8'd him. Sorry, he 10-8'd him, and it was a draw. So, and he almost lost that fight. And granted, that was a long time ago. That was like just over 3 years ago. But this could happen again. As long as Ferreira comes in here 100% with his gas tank, ready to fight takedowns, he can beat Dawson. He's a better fighter. It's easy to cheer for Ferreira because he's exciting. Easy to cheer against Dawson. That's got something to do with it. Low level confidence. I'm going to go with Ferreira for the upset. I think he's going to knock out that Grant Dawson. And he is plus 425. He's plus 200. Ferreira. So he's a pretty big underdog. So those are the 2 underdogs. I didn't pick as many underdogs this week, but those are 2 of them. I think that's it. I think those are the only ones. Yeah, it's a favorite heavy card. Moving on to the prelims. Zachary Reese versus Azamat Bekoev. Zachary Reese, 6'4" tall, 77-inch reach, 8 wins, 1 loss, 30 years old. Azamat Bekoev, 6'1", 72-inch reach, 18 wins, 3 losses, 29 years old. Reese is going to have a huge reach advantage. Azamat, he's got power in his hands. You know, I've seen him KO people. He's got great takedowns. He's got great single legs. I think he's going to be able to take Reese down. And Reese, granted, he is great off his back and throwing up subs. Nothing that Bekoev hasn't seen. He's fought a high level of competition. He was a champ in the LFA. He's fought the way better competition. And before, when Dumas was fighting Reese, I had picked Reese I don't like Dumas. I don't think he's that good. I think Reese would have destroyed him. But watching Bekoev fight, I think Bekoev can control this guy on the ground. You know, even Zachary Reese last time went 3 rounds with Molina. Didn't necessarily like everything I saw about that. But Bekoev, he's only gotten KO'd 1 time. He got kind of clubbed and subbed a while ago by a pretty good Polish fighter. I think he's going to win this. It's a last-minute fight. Yes, I think this guy's in great shape. I think he's a professional. He's still young. He's 29 years old. He's got way more experience than Reese. The height advantage is going to be there. The reach advantage is going to be there. And I've seen him fight guys with that height and reach advantage, and he's going to take him to the ground. He's going to win the decision. Moving on, Jailton Almeida versus Sergey Spivak. Jailton Almeida, 6'3", 79-inch reach, 21 wins, 3 losses, 33 years old. Sergey Spivak, 6'3", 78-inch reach, 17 wins, 4 losses, 29 years old. Here's the thing. Spivak is going to have a striking advantage. I think Jailton Almeida is going to have a speed advantage. I think Jailton Almeida is going to be able to take Spivak down. Spivak has good takedown defense, but he was also taken down by, what's his name, Martin? Tybura. So, he's taken down by Tybura, and Tybura was dominating him on the ground, and Spivak, through some miracle, threw up his legs and caught him in an armbar. So fortunately I had bet on Tybura, and once I saw Tybura, granted Spivak was out striking him, Tybura was able to take him down and get him on the ground and control him on the ground, and of course Spivak managed to throw up that submission, and it didn't look like it was possible, but he did it. So that's not going to happen with Almeida. Almeida's going to take him down. and I think that he's going to be able to grind him out to a decision. I think that I was going to go with, I think you could go with sub on this one. I think Spivak at some point will gas, and I think he will give up. And we saw that with the fight against Gan, where you could just tell he wanted out of there, and he just stopped fighting. And I don't know, I could see that happening with Almeida on top. I don't think it has anybody on top like that to control him and try submit him like Almeida. And I think Almeida's going to be able to submit him. I don't think he's used to being on the bottom. Even though with Tabura, he did get dominated on the bottom and threw up a sub. It was kind of a Hail Mary. It was total luck. I just can't see him doing it again, ever, in heavyweight. But yeah, Almeida's a huge favorite, unfortunately. I think it should have been lined a little closer, yeah, but I mean, everyone's seeing the same thing, that Spivak is not used to somebody taking him to the ground and controlling him on the ground, and that's where it's going to be. And with Blades, I bet on Blades, and then Blades ended up getting a KO because Almeida just burned himself out trying to take on Blades, and I think Blades is a way better wrestler, way better defense, and he's definitely a more, I wouldn't say powerful striker, he's a more, what's the right word? Very explosive type of striker where he could land the perfect shot with perfect precision and power, where Spivak's a powerful puncher, but not necessarily the explosive, accurate puncher, which you'll need to catch Almeida coming in for the takedown. And I don't think that's the guy to catch him. Almeida's going to be the pick by sub. Moving on, Peyton Talbot versus Leone Barcelos. Right, Peyton Talbot, 5'10", 70.5-inch reach, 9 wins, 0 losses, 26 years old. Leone Barcelos, 5'7", 67-inch reach, 18 wins, 5 losses, 37 years old. Peyton Talbot's young. I mean, I bet against him. I one time when he first came in, I thought, you know what, maybe he's not all that. But he ended up destroying the competition because I saw him fight on the Contender Series, and even though he did really well, the guy who he fought against was Cortez Jr., took him to a decision. And I wouldn't say he's fantastic, but he was a pretty good wrestler and pretty good grappler, and he took him to a decision. It was pretty competitive. And then he goes on to, submit Aguirre, who's not very good, but him beating Simon was impressive because I thought Simon was pretty good and young and hungry and great cardio, and he ended up KOing him. That was an impressive victory. Then Gemori's not an impressive victory again. So I think, Talbot's going to be the pick because Barcelos is old. He's 37 years old and he hasn't looked the same, and he can throw hard, but Talbot's the kind of guy that just can eat those punches and, throw back. And I think given that exchange, I think he's going to knock out Barcelos. But having said that, Leone Barcelos is really good on the ground, and if his cardio holds up, and he might be able to take Talbot to a decision. And in that case, he's a plus 650 underdog. You'd want to take him, right? But Peyton Talbot's going to be the pick by KO. But this is a dangerous fight because even though we've seen Peyton Talbot look unbeatable, the really only guy that he's looked sensational in was Simon. That's worth noting. So, and Barcelos is at least as good as Simon, but I think he's better than Simon. And he's excellent on the ground, great jiu-jitsu. So when he goes on the ground with Talbot, can he control Talbot and on the ground with his jiu-jitsu and possibly win the decision? Be very careful with this fight, but Peyton Talbot's going to be the pick by KO. Moving on. Billy Elenkana versus Bogdan Guskov. Billy Elenkana, 6'2", 77.5-inch reach, 6 wins, 1 loss, 29 years old. Bogdan Guskov, 6'3", 76-inch reach, 16 wins, 3 losses, 32 years old. Bogdan Guskov has made great improvements. He's shown that he's a good boxer, very durable, very tough. He lost a really tough fight when he went last minute into the UFC, and he fought against Ozdemir. And this other guy, you know, relative newcomer, not really know very much to know about him. I mean, he's gonna throw down. This is a light heavyweight fight. Somebody can get knocked out. You know, I'm gonna go with Guskov. I think he should be the big favorite. He is a big favorite. I think he's gonna KO Elencana, who's taking this at the last minute because they needed an opponent because Johnny Walker, something happened to him, and that would have been a really good fight. I still pick Guskov to beat Johnny Walker, and I think Johnny Walker is better than Elencana. So Guskov's going to be the pick by KO. Moving on to the main event, main card. Kevin Holland versus Rainier de Ridder. Kevin Holland, 6'3", 81-inch reach, 26 wins, 12 losses, 32 years old. Rainier de Ridder, 6'4", 78-inch reach, 18 wins, 2 losses, 34 years old. Rainier de Ridder, hard to get a beat on this guy. He's good. He's a big guy for middleweight. He can take people to the ground. He holds them on the ground. He's pretty good on the ground. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He fought Mearshart, and you know, Mearshart was actually tagging him up and hurting him on the feet, which worries me. But Mearshart has this weird way of hurting people that he shouldn't hurt and then getting destroyed by people that you think he'd do better at. I mean, I remember him knocking out Bruno Silva when Bruno Silva didn't, with a left hook, when Bruno Silva didn't look like the kind of, he went all 3 rounds with Pereira. You know, like, it was just weird. I didn't expect that to happen, right? So, and then who else did he fought? Then Pachowski, Rabina, it's even longer than that. This guy's just fighting everybody. He just so up and down. So it's hard to tell how hard, Mearshart was hitting the Ritter, because sometimes Mearsharts can really throw well and really powerful punches, right? I mean, he lost a split decision. Pachowski beat Barberena, beat Shabazi, and submission, you know, and then he's got all these submissions. He doesn't get submitted, then Rainier de Ridder submitted him. So obviously Rainier de Ridder does have some submission skills. Hard to tell if Mearshart was just really tired and kind of just fell into that submission in the 3rd round because he just kind of gassed, and Rainier did enough to do it. So yeah, I mean, I wanted to pick Holland, but pick on Holland. Yeah, I'm going to pick on him because he's such a fuck up. but I wanted to pick him, but in the middleweight, he's usually too small. He gets taken on the ground. He gets controlled on the ground. He's got pretty good jiu-jitsu, but these guys are too big, and you know, he's good on the feet. Yeah, he can hurt the Ritter. You saw the Ritter get hurt by Mearshart. But I have this feeling that the Ritter's smarter than that. He's going to just go for the takedowns, and he's going to be able to take down Holland. I think he's going to, if Holland was the bigger guy, which he's not. He's longer, but he's not the bigger guy. At welterweight, he's the bigger guy, but not in middleweight. He's going to be too big. He's going to be able to take him to the ground. Kevin Holland's not going to be able to reverse and jiu-jitsu this guy and submit him. So I can't see that happening. I see Rainier just grinding him out to a 3-round decision. That's what I see. I see Kevin Holland fighting off subs. He's got great gas tank. I don't think he's going to get tired, but I see the Ritter at some point just wearing on him, but I don't think he's going to finish him. I think it's going to be a decision for RDR. Moving on. The Benel Dariush Renato Moicano fight got canceled. Yuri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. Yuri Prochazka, 6'3", 80-inch reach, 30 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 32 years old. Jamal Hill, 6'4", 79-inch reach, 12 wins, 2 losses, 33 years old. It's who do you think is going to knock out who? I think Prochazka has got terrible defense. I think Jamal Hill has got better defense. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Someone's going to get tagged. Someone's going to get knocked out. I'm going to pick Jamal Hill because he's got better defense. I think he's not necessarily the smarter fighter in there, but I think he's got better defense, and I think he's just a little more careful. I mean, you wouldn't guess it with the Pereira fight. I think that was a one-off. And I'm not saying that Pereira shouldn't have knocked him out. I just think that his defense didn't look good, but that could have had a lot to do with Pereira. And Prochazka's defense didn't look good against Pereira either, but Yuri Prochazka is a real risk taker, and I think he's going to get caught because of that. I mean, that's also why he gets all the KOs, is because he takes high risks. But in this case, I think, you just basically pick who you think is going to knock out who. I think Jamal Hill is going to knock out Prochazka. That's what I think. So, and it's going to be a coin flip. Somebody's going to get KO. It could happen to, Prochazka could very well KO Hill. So this is not a high confidence pick, but Hill's going to be the pick. Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Dvalishvili, 5'6", 68" reach, 18 wins, 4 losses, 33 years old. Umar Nurmagomedov, 5'8", 69" reach, 18 wins, 0 losses, 28 years old. Nurmagomedov, young, he's going to be bigger, he's going to be faster, he's going to be stronger, he's going to be the better grappler. Dvalishvili has got cardio. He's got cardio and he shoots 50 takedowns a fight. And that's what wins him the fight. I think he's going up against another guy who's got decent cardio. Nobody's got cardio like Dvalishvili. Nurmagomedov's also great on the ground. He's got good control. He's got good defense. I think when they're on the feet, he's got the way better striking. He's way more accurate. He's way faster. And, this is no... He should be the champ. He's the best guy in this division. Dvalishvili, he's the cardio machine. He's the guy who's going to shoot 50 takedowns and win a decision on you, right? So, but he has been struck. He has been hit. He has been stung. He has been KO'd. I think he's going to walk into some kicks and some knees. I think Nurmagomedov is going to hurt Dvalishvili. But I think Nurmagomedov normally fights a very safe fight. I can't see him finishing Dvalishvili. I see him surviving, and I see a decision. I wanted to go Umar by KO, but if you look at Umar's fights, he doesn't usually win by KO, and that's because he's careful. And I don't think he's going to change his fight style. I don't think he's going to be reckless. He can still catch Dvalishvili, but I think Dvalishvili will go down and then he'll be able to survive. And I don't think you're going to see Nurmagomedov taking huge amount of chances to try finish him because he doesn't need to. And that might not be the best plan. So I'm going to take Nurmagomedov by decision. So that's what I'm thinking. Decision. 5 rounds. Knockouts could happen, but I think it's going to be a decision. Moving on, Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan got cancelled. So it's Islam Makhachev against Renato Moicano. Coincidentally, I had picked Moicano in a low-level confidence pick to beat Dariush. Now I had picked Islam to pick Arman Tsarukyan. Decent level confidence. Now they're fighting against each other. So Islam Makhachev is 5'10", 70.5" reach, 26 wins, 1 loss, 30 years old. Moicano, 5'11", 72" reach, 20 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw, 35 years old. You got to go with the champ. The champ's the champ. The champ's good. The champ's got great striking. I think the champ's going to be faster. I think the champ can take Dariush down. Dariush is going to have a hard time submitting him. I think the champ's going to grind him out for 5 rounds. And, not Dariush, but Moicano. I'd like to pick Moicano. He's a huge underdog, but I can't see Moicano knocking him out because I don't think Moicano's going to be faster. I don't think Moicano's going to gas fast, like Makhachev's going to gas any quicker than Moicano would gas. I think they're about the same level. I think Makhachev can take him down, and I don't think he's going to get submitted or reversed in his position. He's just too good on the ground. Makhachev by decision. Let's go to the board. Once again, not financial advice. Bet only when you can afford to lose. This is just my picks on who I think is going to win. Do your own research, compare it to what you have, and possibly, combine it or whatever you're going to do. Hopefully you make some bets that win you some money, and here it is. So I'm going to put most confident Makhachev. I just think that he's the champ, and he's going to stay the champ. It's hard to bet against him. You know, I got other smaller bets. You know, you could put over 1.5. I'm not sure what the odds are right now. I put that in there, but I don't know with the switching of opponent what those odds are. I put by KO. Why did I put KO? Maybe I'm thinking he's gonna KO. So even though I just said decision or KO. So let's put it that way. He's gonna either KO or decision. So, but there is those options of betting both KO and decision. That's probably what I would do. I wouldn't necessarily go with submission. It would be either a ground and pound KO or decision. But obviously, I'm leaning towards KO here. So I put some thought into it before. Talbot, KO over 1.5. I don't know what the 1.5 is, if it's worth betting, but he should win by KO. But there is, again, there is a world where he goes to a decision. But Ronnie Barcelos is getting up there in age. I just don't know if he can handle the punching power of Talbot. So I picked KO. Almeida over 1.5 could be a good bet. I don't think he's going to take out Spivak right away. I think submission as he breaks Spivak. Nurmagomedov fight goes the distance, decision. Guskov fight doesn't go the distance, KO. Sopaj fight goes the distance, over 1.5, decision. Ulanbekov fight goes the distance, decision. Rosa fight goes the distance, decision. Bekoev fight goes the distance, decision. Hill fight doesn't go the distance, KO. The Ritter fight goes the distance, decision. Ferreira fight doesn't go the distance, KO. I think he's going to KO Dawson. Gafarov fight goes the distance, over 1.5. I think Gafarov is going to win the decision. I think he's going to throw some bombs and possibly catch Nakamura and steal some rounds. Again, take what I've got and combine it with your own research and see what happens here. What else do we need to go over? That's pretty much it. All right. Well, we're close. The fight's going to be in just over 24 hours. Thank you very much for joining me. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you want to subscribe, and hit the notifications if you want to know when I bring out the videos. I'm kind of a little all over the place. Normally I just do the big pay-per-view events, although this month I started with the fight night, and I did this pay-per-view, and the next pay-per-view will have lots of time to prepare for it. That one will be done as well. I can't guarantee I'm doing every fight night, but I try to get most of them out there. Otherwise, good luck, and we will see you guys in about a week and a half for the next pay-per-view predictions for UFC 312. Thank you. Have a great weekend.